Hello and welcome to the Surplus Geek Podcast. I'm Jake, and today I get to have Bailey back, who hasn't been on in about like a year or two. So, how's it going, Bailey?
Good, yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. If you don't know who Bailey is, his Instagram channel is Yankee Militaria. You post mostly World War One, World War Two type stuff, impressions, and pieces of history and stuff like that.
Yes.
So a lot of World War One Yankee division. And I can't really think what else you post of recently.
Mostly firearms and whatever stuff I collect. I'm still doing Vietnam. Just taking a break from impressions because I got a lot of stuff going on right now, but I'll eventually get back to impressions. Eventually, I do have one in the works right now. Hopefully, I can get done within the next month or so.
Is it Vietnam?
Vietnam, yes. Yes.
Okay, cool. I've been kind of out of the impressions game as well, but
yeah, well, it's just
hard.
tedious. It's tedious,
hard, yeah. It's definitely tedious.
Hopefully, I can get this one done. I'm still debating if I want to write up like a long thing because I've done research on this for a while now, but I think there's more research to be done on it. But I just haven't had the time to write and sit down with this.
Takes time. Yeah.
I did find like this is like a 2-year long passion project, I think, because I just been so invested into this project. So I want to try and make it as right as possible, but then again too, with just how Instagram is, it just makes it difficult with like reaching to the right audience and just expanding on that. So I'm
still
debating.
Post it on YouTube.
Yeah,
I can help you with that. And you've been busy because you're still doing the Park Service gig.
Yep.
And last year you were up in the great state of Maine.
Yep. I was in Acadia National Park for about 6 months, from May up until about October, and I pretty much had a good time there. I met a lot of great people, and they are out and about right now at different states working for other national parks for their career, but I still keep in touch with them every now and then. It was, I think, in my opinion, it was a good park to be at. It was a pretty tough season because where I was stationed, just doing different things than I was in Yellowstone than last time, but
which is good.
Yeah,
because
but
you're getting that experience.
That's the good part about it, is the experience. Like you get to learn new things and actually experience different scenarios and stuff like that, and so that you can experience it and learn from that. But in general, it was a tough year, a tough season in the park, but I still got through it somehow.
How accurate do you think Far Harbor is to Bar Harbor? The real Bar Harbor. I had to ask.
No, I kind of, when I got there, I'm like, ooh, is this like Far Harbor? It's like the other DLCs from the Fallout series, like in Fallout 3 Point Lookout, which is actually based off of
Isn't that Louisiana?
No, it's actually, I forget what seashore it is in Maryland, but it's based off a national seashore in Maryland.
Really? Okay.
Yep. It's not Louisiana.
Oh.
It's Maryland.
I don't know why I thought it was Louisiana.
No. But I find it interesting though, because Fallout 3 does have an aspect of like a national park or national seashore being introduced, while Fallout New Vegas has Zion National Park, which is where you go in Utah, and they dabble a bit with the Mojave Desert and stuff like that, like Hoover Dam, which is also a national historical site. But
that's
then again
true.
too, Fallout 4 does Far Harbor, which I find pretty funny because
that'd be kind of a fun post, going over all the national parks in the Fallout universe.
It could be, that's actually not a bad idea.
Or maybe a video.
Well, I thought about there last year because I would have done something for Bar Harbor / Far Harbor, but
I mean, you could still go back.
It's not that far of a drive. It's a 5-hour drive from here.
It's a bit far from us, but it's not that far. It's still in the great New England area. So,
but back to the question, it's not accurate.
I know, I figured. I mean, it never usually is.
I mean, I've noticed when I got there, I was just like, I was looking at like comparing it between like the town itself. The town actually borders the park itself. Like literally, you'll be like on the town street. You go one street over, you're actually in the park, like in the park.
Because it's on an island, right?
Yeah, it's Mount Desert Island.
Yeah, it's just one big island.
One big island.
Is there only one bridge onto?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
That's what I thought. I've never actually been, even though I've been in the area before. I've just never actually gone over.
Yeah, because right before you get on the island, there's a town about 20 minutes north of the bridge, heading towards like Bangor. It's called Ellsworth.
Because you're only like 20 minutes from Bangor, right? Not even, or like 25 minutes
from where I was.
Yeah. Like,
I was about an hour from Bangor.
It's that far from
Yeah.
Bangor? Wow, okay.
It's an hour drive from Bangor, but if you go like halfway, it's Ellsworth, which is like the next bigger city.
Yeah. There's a good seafood place nearby.
In Ellsworth.
I don't know if it's in Ellsworth, but it's somewhere between Bar Harbor and Bangor. I can't remember the exact town. It's like the Eagle's Nest or something like that.
I might have seen it. I don't know.
It's like right on the river. I forget what river. I'm drawing a blank, but it's so good. It's got fantastic seafood.
I really can't eat that much seafood. I just every day I saw lobster roll in town.
I was gonna say it's made. It's all they have. I love me some good seafood. So yeah, you did that last year. Obviously, the year before they did Yellowstone.
Yep.
I really did want to come out and visit you because I do want to go to the park.
That would have been
yeah.
I'm
sorry,
great.
I didn't.
Yeah, it's okay.
You know.
I was busy. I had another job too at the same time.
Yeah, things come up, but now that you're back for the time being, you have been working on your new crib. Sorry, I had to say it that way. You're working in a new area. You have you expanded your room a little bit into having kind of not an office space per se, but like a collection space.
Yeah. So this is like kind of a project that's been on and off since like, I don't know, we started the addition. It's like a mudroom. Well, we originally wanted to be a mudroom at first, like so we could enter it during like the winter, like where we are like in the winter, stuff like that. So we're not tracking mud and snow into the house. So we try to.
Nah, I have too much collection. I need to put.
Well,
it somewhere.
that's the thing. I didn't really get serious until probably about at the end of college, maybe.
Yeah.
Like I remember, at the end of high school, I was starting to buy a few more things. Not really.
Like 2019-ish?
2018? For what?
For you getting serious?
Probably. I don't know. That's the thing. 2016 was high school. I was getting graduating.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, yeah, because I was buying a few things. Like I had a few masks and I had like some other stuff as well, like small memorabilia. But I don't know, like probably 2018, 2019, like no, it might be. That's the thing. I'm trying to figure this out. Like, when did I start really getting serious? Might be 2018, 2019, because I remember just buying stuff on eBay and actually sending it to my college store, and I'm like, oh, this is cool, you know. But I was only buying. I was buying only small things. Like, I kept my budget to a certain amount. Like, I wasn't going like, $50 this week to buy this thing or that thing.
How's that working out?
Bad.
How's your bank account right now?
Yes and no. Yes.
Yeah. Of course.
I'm selling stuff, so I gotta get on top of that with
you're trying to refocus your collection.
Yes.
You're not like me where I want to broadly collect as much as I can.
Well, I do too. Like, I want to have like a wide variety of stuff. Like, I don't want to be like mostly American. Like, I want to have like.
I'm fine with being mostly.
I want to have German. I want to have British. I want to have Russian. You know, like different eras. Like, I want like, I do have World War I. I mostly have the only foreign country I have more stuff in is probably from World War I German. I have Reichsmarks, the postcards, like personalized postcards, and that German mask. Yeah. I want to get more stuff pertaining to like foreign countries, like different eras, like, you know, Soviet Union, or even like Imperial Russian, you know, like uniforms, the hats and stuff like that, Mosin. Then British, I don't know, like
British is definitely high. I want Cold War British. That's what I want.
Oh yeah, like the DPM, so like all the camo patterns and stuff like that.
That, you know, like mid era, like 60s, 70s British. You know, that's.
But that's the thing though. If I were not to collect, that's a thing. Like, I like collecting other era and like countries' gear. Yeah. But I'm more focused on collecting like camo patterns. Like right now, when I was in Acadia. You know, that huge surplus store, the main warehouse supply, whatever it was. They had like tons of selections.
Is that the one that has the gun range inside of it?
Yes. Yeah. At the far end.
Yeah.
I remember they had like a huge variety of just like foreign camos.
They actually, they have, you know, they do a big like spring sale. I don't know if they still do it, but before they used to do a big spring sale, and it was like the deals that you could get on stuff was insane.
I mean, I got some good deals on. Like, I bought this Italian like M81 like camo knockoff, whatever.
Yeah, their version of one. Yeah,
it was pretty cool. And I also, like in Yellowstone, I went to that huge warehouse. I bought the Italian Vegetado camo top, and I'm like, I have that. I have the Italian M81 knockoff.
That's one of those camos that doesn't get enough attention.
The Vegetado.
Yeah.
It's such a cool, like,
I don't know how effective
stupid,
it is,
unique
but,
camo,
yeah.
but it's
I'd like
not.
to know if it's effective. But
I mean, I've only heard that's only effective like in a desert-ish combat scenario. I've heard, and by the looks of it, it seems like it would be ideal for it. But then again, too, I just not entirely sure because it seems too bright enough to be in a desert. Compared to like.
I mean, it's the same with a CAD pad though.
I do have a CAD pad top.
Yeah, you do have.
I do have a CAD pad top.
Like CAD pad is really good for Canada during the green.
Oh yeah.
The greener seasons.
They make a tundra variation. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So I want to get one, but we can't have Canadian.
I know.
stuff.
I'm in the same boat. I'd love to collect more camo and more uniforms and stuff like that, but I just don't have at this point. I do not have the time or the money.
No. It's
I'm too deep in other things.
Like I eventually want to display my World War II German chemical suit. Like,
oh yeah,
I really want to display
I
that
want to see that too.
But I gotta buy stuff for it. Like I gotta buy the helmet, I gotta buy the boots. I actually gotta buy one more boot for the chem suit itself because I'm missing out one boot.
Right? Yeah,
the overboot. And there's a guy I know, or not really know, but I've seen who sells like a pair of boots like that for like I don't know, $200. But I don't want to spend $200 on it. Like I just need one overboot.
Yeah, just to get the one over. I mean, you could always get the pair, and then sell your one, unless it's matching to that suit.
I don't know. It is matching to the suit, I'm pretty sure, because it's all dated like 1941.
You're just going to have to see if you can eventually convince that guy to give you a deal or something and then make it worth your while. But
I don't know. Well, I think he's had that stuff for sale for a long time. Like, everything he has on there is still for sale. Like, the suits, the top. It's not really a suit. It's
like an assembly of things.
It is assembly, because you have, like, the pants, you have the boots, you have the gloves.
Kind of a smock thing, right?
That's a thing. Like, the smock is like there, but it isn't in a sense, because they either utilized. So from my research and like what I've learned and stuff like that, if they didn't have a smock available, they would either use like a Zeltbon, like the poncho, like a poncho.
Yeah, poncho. Yeah.
Like a Zeltbon poncho, whatever it was. They either use one of them, or they would also use another pair of the trousers, and it actually is shown in the diagram. I wish I brought it with me, but
it's all right.
It's shown in the diagram when they're like assembling into the uniform, is that if they don't have another top for the smock, whatever they have for them, they can actually slice a hole
in the pants
and use that as a smock, because the way it's supposed to be used is that you can put it over, then tie it around the other pair of trousers and use like the leg part as like sleeves, pretty much. Yeah, it's so weird, but cool. It's so weird but cool. It's just like, again, like I really want to display it, but I gotta buy stuff for it. So that's the only thing that sucks about it. I mean, I probably could still display it, and maybe just use jack boots, but I think it would look incomplete. I don't know.
You would know it too. It's one of those things where even if it looks good, if you know that it's incomplete, like
it just doesn't feel right. Yeah.
No, I know that feeling. But yeah, you've been working on that. So you've been working on getting all your stuff moved over into the new space and displayed, and get some cool displays going and stuff. And obviously,
I'm trying. Yeah.
Once that's done, maybe we'll throw a little bit of that out to the world. But it's pretty cool. Other than trying to complete that, other than the impression you talked about earlier, completing the German chemical suit, anything else that you've been buying recently? Any recent buys that have been pretty fun, interesting, kind of surprising?
I went to the gun show near me, just like, I don't know, like, what did I say, last month? Or
it was
a couple weeks ago.
It was like January, right?
Yeah, last, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, whatever it was. And I bought a M1917 Enfield bayonet.
Yep.
The 16-inch from World War I, a World War I tunic, unnamed, unpatched. Actually, it does have the honorable discharge patch on it.
Huh.
Like the red stripe, the chevron. And apparently it came with a German ribbon bar.
Huh.
So it might have been a capture, like
probably a pickup,
like a little victory, like a little token of metal. And I bought a reproduction sling for my M1917 rifle. That's another thing too. A month ago, exactly this time, my dad and I bought a M1917 rifle for a really good deal, in my opinion, than what they usually go for. But it's in really good condition. I haven't shot it yet, but hopefully I can.
Yeah, it's kind of time to go shooting at the moment. Yeah. I mean, it hasn't been that cold, but still.
I just haven't shot probably since like, I don't know, 2020 at least.
I haven't shot since
right at the beginning of COVID.
So
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be atrocious.
yeah, I haven't been to a range since 2019, so I'm a little rusty, I would say. Yeah. And who knows when I'm gonna have time to go back to the range? But yeah, it's pretty cool. And then you got anything else cool that you got that was significant?
Yeah, so I went on vacation to St. Petersburg went to another part of Florida to visit my grandparents, and I went to St. Petersburg to visit my sister and her boyfriend.
Yep.
And my mom and I were staying in this hotel, and like one day we're like, hey, let's just go find something to do. So knowing me, I go look for the nearest surplus store, and there actually was one about 15, 20 minutes away from where we were staying outside of St. Petersburg towards like the Tampa area, I believe. And we went, and we were just walking around looking for stuff, and I noticed that there was this N1917 helmet, like the American Brody helmet, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was just on this wall, like, you know, this little metallic, like, it's kind of like this right here, like those racks.
Like a hanger, and it's on.
Yeah. So it was like hanging from that, and I'm like, it looks weird. And I saw they had like the red stripe, and it was where it was hanging from was actually hanging from like the hole was punched from. So I'm like, So, and I asked my mom, I'm like, you know what that is? She goes, oh, I knew you would look at it and be like, that looks special. I'm like, it is special. I told her that it's meant for training, that it was like defective, you know?
Yeah, it's a defective helmet.
It's a defective helmet. Yeah. So I told her, and she goes, oh, you should see if it's for sale. I'm like, yeah, I will. So I go out there. I'm like, hey, is it for sale? And he goes, oh, no, that wall's just for like display only, like the manager or whatever, the person who owns the store. I'm like, okay. So we walk around, and I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, if I just haggle him a little bit, maybe he'll nudge on the idea. Yeah. So I'm like, this is my last day. Like, I'm leaving tomorrow. Like, is there any way you can sell that helmet to me? He goes, no, I can't. I'm like, yeah, but I understand, but I would really like to have this helmet. Like I saw it and it looked cool to me.
I want that.
I'm like, I really want it. It's like my last day here. Come on, dude. He goes, I'll make a phone call. So he goes in the back, makes a phone call. Then we're walking around, and as we're walking around, we actually noticed this. I actually noticed this cartridge belt. Again, like the whole World War I's like M1910, M1917, M1917. Like same with World War II, the M1s.
Yeah.
It's an M1917 mounted cartridge belt.
Cavalry mounted.
Yeah, but it's not really. Well, I'm still learning the dismounted/mounted cavalry, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing.
But it had the N1917, like the unpuckered pockets.
Yep.
But it was a 9-pocket cartridge belt with one pocket being removed for the M1911 ammo pouch. Yeah. So and he wanted like a 170, something like that. It was a little too high. So I'm like, can you work on that? And he goes, I'll do 140 for it. I'm like, okay, we're getting there.
Yeah.
So, but this is before the helmet, because I saw that first. Then the helmet came up to mine. Then as he made the phone call, he was like, the guy was selling it to you for 150. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I'm like, how about this? 250 for both the helmet and the belt. He goes, okay. So
you're like
100 for the belt, 150 for the helmet. Not bad.
No, it's not bad. Yeah,
it's 150 is about average for the helmet. I mean, I think it's average, but it's in relatively good condition. Like the chin strap is still intact, the liner's in good condition. The paint's still there. It's like it's been sitting in the warehouse for like so many years, like unaltered pretty much. And the belt itself is also in great condition too. No stains, nothing really. It also came stuffed with like wooden blocks. So it kind of gives a feeling that it's like full of ammo, which I kind of keep it as it is because I don't know, why would I want to alter that? It's pretty cool.
So anyways, after that cut that we just had, because I had to do a little quick cut, but anyways, it doesn't matter. You guys won't notice it, but that much. So yeah, you got both for a good price.
Mm-hmm.
And World War I stuff is always just price-wise kind of sometimes pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you start getting into like Eagle Snap and first pattern.
It varies, dude. Like, you either find stuff for a great price or you find stuff that's like, why would I pay that? But someone will pay for it. Some people do.
It's rarely in good condition either. That's the other thing.
Yeah,
Canvas does not stand up to the test of time.
And leather too, you know,
Yeah,
like
leather,
the leather chin straps and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like,
and then the asbestos liners and the M1917.
yeah,
so.
that's the thing with World War One. That when you find an item that's in good condition, like you can read the dates, the canvas is like
grab it.
there. I would grab it if it's for the right price.
Yeah, I would.
If
agree.
it's not, then I would, be cautious. Like, do you really need it? If so, sure, why not? If the price is not too set high or just like it's something to work with, then sure, like go take the gamble.
If you
on
can
it.
take care of it and and you have the money, it's a good investment too.
Like,
if you have to end up getting rid of it, it's worth your time.
Like, for 2 examples, I remember at being the Boxborough show, I'm thinking back on it. I kind of wish I bought it, but then again too, I wish I'd bought it because for what it was, it's such a great piece of history. But then again too, it's like I don't want to pay that much. But I remember seeing the guy before. I used to go to one of his antique stores in Millis, Mass, and he was selling a World War I like garrison khaki, like the garrison caps, repurposed to a civilian conservation corps. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
It's when the New Deal came in.
And they want to have jobs for people. Yeah.
So that's pretty much, it's like them working for like state/local and federal parks, like doing maintenance, upgrading the bathrooms,
construction projects,
pretty like roads. I think the major projects they've done is probably what park is it? I think Blue Ridge.
Oh, really?
It's either it might be Blue Ridge Parkway. It's like the long stretch of like the road going between like West Virginia and stuff like that. I think that's one of the major projects they were doing at the time. But yeah, I'm thinking back on it. I'm like, kind of wish I bought it because I don't see that often.
Yeah. But you got to think though that like if you would have got it, maybe that would have prevented you from getting something else down the line, and then you wouldn't have a different thing. Like you got to think like you can't get everything, so you have to kind of pick and choose. And maybe now you'd be talking to me saying, "Oh, I wish I would have got this other thing instead of getting,
Yeah.
So you're gonna find yourself in that position, no matter what. So I mean, it just is what it is. There's tons of stuff that I'm like, oh man, if I would have got that, why did I get that? Why did I skip out on an opportunity to own that? But then it's like, maybe I would have lost the opportunity to own this other piece. So I've just accepted that you can't own everything. So you just move on. I know.
Well, maybe if I see it next time, I might get it.
Well, yeah. Now, as you get older too, and they say you get older, you have less time but more money. You pick up that stuff. That's just how it is. So that's pretty cool. That's some good items. So we talked about some items, some impressions, and things like that. Any future plans for specifically Instagram or branching off or doing anything else or leaving Instagram or anything of that type?
I wish.
Yeah. Not really.
Yes and no. Like I want to do certain posts. Like I want to do stuff. Like I still want to make content.
Yeah.
It's just so tedious. Like it's just so
hard. It's unrewarding at this point.
With what I want to do and stuff like that, it's so unrewarding. Like I shouldn't be admitting to this, but I pay for boosts, and it's just that's the thing that hurts me the most is that like it feels like I'm succumbing to like like I'm weak. Like please boost my stuff.
Yeah,
like,
but the thing is, you got to remember the boosting, and there's nothing wrong with boosting because all you're doing is you're saying, hey, algorithm, give me
your thing,
give me a priority on this when you're not because you got to remember history stuff and anything that even has reference to war or violence or anything like that is going to get D-ranked in the algorithm, and we know this. So paying the money is it's kind of like bribing Instagram. You're like, hey, just give me a little boost.
Yep.
So, all right. So another interruption. Whoops. A little technical difficulties, but. So yeah, I think when it comes to Instagram, you got to do what you got to do, and I don't see a problem with it. Even like doing reels, I feel like I haven't been able to capitalize too much. Mm-hmm. Even though people tell me, "Oh, the 6 seconds or less are really cool," and and I have one in the works. Actually, probably will be out before this podcast is out. Not exactly 100% happy with it. It didn't turn out the way I wanted to, even though it's probably fine. And I have like 4 more that I've been researching for, so it's just, it can get tiring, and the reward isn't the greatest sometimes, and it is what it is,
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's funny, you could have over 1,000 people following you, and then you'll get like 100 return. And you're like,
yeah.
And you're like, oh, it's a...
Or it's the exact opposite. You have like 1,000 followers, you get like 20,000 like views, and it's like,
yeah, how does it happen?
it's just how the algorithm is. It's just as either good some days, or some days it's just
sometimes it
bad.
grabs it, runs with it. Sometimes it just says, "Nah, we don't want it." It's the same with YouTube, where sometimes like the Sheridan on YouTube did really good for YouTube as far as YouTube goes.
Yep.
Like it, like compared to everything else, it's just like whoop. Oh, I'm gonna go back down. So like I know this one that I'm working on now that you guys probably already have seen. It's probably gonna do way worse than the Sheridan. I mean, it makes sense. It's definitely less known than the Sheridan. The Sheridan is definitely gonna be way more known to the general population.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have more of those types coming because I like that was fun to do. The Sheridan was a fun one to do. But it's just one of those things. I try not to get too beat up about it because it is what it is. You know, if the way I look at it is like I do the podcast anyways, so like I'm gonna be here doing the podcast as long as I can get guests, and you know. Oh, and speaking of which, we didn't even make mention of this in the beginning. This is like the first time I've done the podcast in person with someone sitting across from me. Like, let me know if this works. Because this is how I'm probably going to do the sitting next to each other podcast together thing, because it's not really a better way to do it in this room. And I think that this was a pretty solid way to do this. Yeah. I think it's working out pretty good. I mean, we're not always looking at the camera, but I think that, like, you know, it works. It feels professional enough. That's nice, I guess. So, I don't know.
Might be better than a 2-camera, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, because I was going to try the 2-camera, but the problem with the 2-camera was trying to get the angles right, and then we would be kind of looking all over the place.
It'd be like a lot of editing and stuff.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of editing, and so I try to keep it simple, but I think this worked pretty well. So, and oddly enough, you're the first one to do the live in-person like episode, which you started the podcast with me.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're back. I mean, you probably will be back for another year because you got stuff going on.
Yeah, I got stuff going on.
So speaking of stuff, you're going to continue with the National Park Service more than likely.
Yeah.
So you have a couple different locations that you're scouting out as potential job opportunities. I don't know if you want to talk about that at all.
I can if you like. So I have accepted a position at Cape Hatteras Seashore in North Carolina. That is more than likely will end up being for the summer, but that could change because I did have an interview for another park out in California. So I am waiting to hear back from them anytime this week. So anything could change at this rate. But the thing that's, you know, the problem too with that park is that it's the housing situation. This housing situation is not that good. They go on a bid process depending on what level or like what your pay is and stuff like that, where you are in the field itself, like what you do and stuff like that. And they'll put you on a bid process, like saying, oh, he gets first dibs, or like he's higher priority to get this housing unit, whatever.
Really?
Yeah. So, and they usually prioritize the seasonals first. Right now for the hiring process, they're going with the seasonals first. Then they'll go to the permanent employees. This park I'm applying for right now is a permanent position, which is...
That's interesting.
Yeah. It's just how it is.
Because, like,
that's how unfortunate
on
it
the
is.
previous 2 parks that you've been to, you guys got given, like, a trailer almost? Like a...
No, I brought my trailer.
Oh, you brought your trailer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They did offer, like, government housing, like either shared housing with another person, or mostly with just another person, kind of like a dorm in a way, like in college. I remember Yellowstone was just like a house, like you had a house and stuff like that, like probably 2 or 3 bedroom, like 1 or 2 baths, and like you had your own kitchen, you had your own laundromat.
So could you bring your trailer to California, or?
That's the thing we're trying to, you know, if I do get to the position, possibly. It might be a possibility that I might be able to, because they said that, I asked them next question, I'm like, what's the probability of me bringing a trailer, like me living there, because they do get snow. And
because this is what, Northern California?
This is actually Southern California, but we're such a high elevation. This is the Kings Canyon in Sequoia.
Yeah, that makes
so
sense.
we do have like, it's outside, like about an hour away from Fresno, like east of Fresno, or like southeast of Fresno. And that's a weird thing. They get snow, but if you go just this way towards Nevada, you're in like Death Valley, Mojave Desert, and Vegas. So
it almost makes you wish for a nuclear
winter.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to.
That's okay. We did talk about Fallout earlier, but I almost said New Vegas. But I'm like Vegas,
Yeah. New Vegas.
But it is capable of being in the snow. Like other one I was in Yellowstone with, we had snow like in September.
Oh yeah.
So I was able to upkeep with that with the snow and like what's it called, dewinterizing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but they said that if you were to bring a trailer, the trailer pads are only given to seasonals first. Then they narrowed it down to permanent stuff like that. Which
So what do they expect you to do as a permanent? Just buy a house out there?
Yeah. Buy your own housing
in California?
Okay, luck. I mean, my dad and I have scoured and looked around like for potential RV pads, like RV communities. You know, like in Florida, they have like this huge ass like RV communities and stuff like that. And I think there is one about half an hour away from the park itself, and they do have full hookup and stuff like that. So I think that might be a possibility.
Huh.
If not, the cheapest apartment there is probably about $1,500.
And it's probably not that big.
And that's probably not that big either. Yeah. Well, it's only just me though. That's the thing.
No, but still, I mean, if you...
I'd be happy for the bed and bath, just something they can sleep under a roof.
But what about your surplus?
That ain't coming, dude.
Yeah.
It's staying.
I don't blame you.
Maybe I don't know, maybe an impression. That's a thing.
Now, is the North Carolina also a permanent position? Or
No,
is
it's
that
only seasonal. That's
Okay.
why I'm like, if I do take California, I'm going for it,
Yeah.
I'd rather take California. Even though I accepted, North Carolina, but to
The
get
opportunity is
the
better for
opportunity is right. It's like literally right
Theoretically.
there at California,
Yeah.
and like I'm like in
Could
there.
you? So if you got a permanent job in California at that park, could you jump parks? Or
I have
you
to
able-
apply to different parks, but yeah, I can definitely go up from there. I can
Right.
I can only go up, dude. I can't go down if I take that position.
Unless you make it worse for yourself.
Well, that's the thing. Only you can do that to yourself. Nobody
Only
else.
you can.
Only you can prevent forest fires. But that's if I were to take that position, the only way is up. Like, not unless I did something bad. That's the only thing that's gonna bring me down. But in general, it's only up in that field, or in that career, to be honest. But
Wow.
yeah,
There's a lot of things to think about with the housing.
I know.
It's kind of I kind of get it because most jobs don't give you housing, but like I feel like National Park Service jobs are just a little bit different in terms of like what you're doing.
I know. Like, it's a public service. Like you would think that.
No, I wouldn't think anything.
You would think that they would do more for the
I mean,
person.
they can barely do anything for the public park service itself. I mean, we need to have more funding for park service.
I know.
That's not a political stance. That's just
This is just a true statement.
Yeah.
But they did. I think they want to pass a bill that want to give federal employees more pay. I think that's in the works or is being discussed right
I
now.
wouldn't get your hopes up.
I wouldn't get my hopes up. Oh, it'd be nice.
So if you moved to California,
Yeah.
and this is a permanent position, so you're
Yes.
saying you wouldn't take your surplus at all?
I want to have room, dude. I mean, maybe I'll take
Some.
some for like an impression or two, maybe. But in general, I just can't take everything. That's the
Well,
only
what would be
issue.
the long-term goal then if you're there long-term?
I fly home. I drive home. I buy you home. I don't know. That's the thing.
Because I mean, that's that's the one
You can
thing.
buy it,
Oh, I don't know if I don't know if I have the money for that, but
or just sell everything.
all right, GoFundMe to buy Bailey's collection.
Starting bid 10,000. I mean, I'd be fine with 5,000.
Can we do a best offer, sir? Yeah.
1,000 best offer? Okay.
I'll give you $500
I'd be happy with
in
that.
a box of pizza. The pizza box is empty.
Okay, that's fine. At least it needs to have the crust.
Okay,
Okay,
that's fair.
and a grease stain or two. And those little white little tables they put in the middle of the pizza. Like
I don't really do that anymore.
I know. I don't get. That sucks.
Yeah. No little white tables.
I want just one. I want one in there.
Just one. It's just gonna be a pizza box full of those.
That's
But
fine.
anyways,
I don't care.
we've fallen way off track. I don't think there's actually much more for us to talk about. This was kind of a shorter episode because it's more of a just catching up with you to see how you've been doing. Like I said, you haven't been on since November of 2021. So I wanted to have you on last year, but you were busy up in Maine. And then by the time you got back, I was busy trying to get this basement ready and stuff, and it's just been hectic ever since. So we just never got around to having you on. So I think that's a safe place to end it. I know there's 2 jump cuts. Apologize for that. I'm a little under the weather, sort of. And I don't know if there's anything else to add. Is there anything? I mean, other than follow Bailey on Yankee Militaria on Instagram.
I want to talk about the history, or not the history, the longevity of the account. What I plan on doing.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
we never got around. Well, we kind of like dabbled in a little bit of it, but we didn't talk much into it.
Kind of got sidetracked.
So
with...
I still want to continue the account, but I just been so unsatisfactory with the whole like algorithm and stuff like that. Me not reaching a greater, wider audience like I really wanted to. But I think that's the thing that stopped me the most is that I'm not putting too much commitment into it. Like I have great stuff. I think I have great unique stuff that other people don't, that you don't see too often. And within the next month or so, with me completing this other edition so I can finally display my stuff and actually get proper setups and displays, I think there would be more room for me to grow. Like, potentially doing more posts. Here's the thing though, I'm on a wicked time crunch. Like, I have like legit like a month, you know.
I know, because
I gotta get stuff.
Yeah,
I know. I got a lot of stuff going on right now within the next month and a half. That's why I'm kind of like rushing to get stuff done. Like, I really want to get the display room done as quick as possible so that I'm like, okay, one less thing to worry about. Now let's do another thing I gotta worry about now, which is getting to the account itself. So the account itself, what I want to do is that once I finally get this room finally done, like everything from bins to like this pretty much. Not like, oh, something different. Like, I want to do something different with it. Like, I do. You've seen the the closet. That's already done. Something like that almost.
Yeah.
But once I get that done, I will probably make, gear posts. Like, people will like be like, oh, here's a canteen. Like, here's this. Like,
Yeah. Breakdown posts.
I might do stuff like that. Like, maybe if I take enough pictures and document everything, probably a post a week on this stuff.
Yeah.
I might do something like that. Thinking about doing reels. I haven't decided yet. Like, I'm really against reels. Like, I like them and I don't. And I like them and I don't. Nothing against you, but in my opinion, they're more catered to a specific audience. In my opinion, like they either are good for a certain audience or they're not. Which is a thing that I kind of want to. Once I get everything figured out too. Your screen.
Yeah, we're good. Don't worry. It doesn't change anything.
Once I get everything figured out,
just timely. Hey, Windows wants to update your computer while you're doing something.
Once I finally get the display room figured out and stuff like that, I want to experiment with the reel. Like, I'm gonna experiment with the reel, see if I can get it edited right. I will take my time with this. It'd be like a little passion project.
Remember, you can always ask me for help.
No,
it's not like I haven't been banging my head against the wall for 2 years now.
So I'm gonna try to tinker with this reel. I'm gonna do. Depending on doing 2 posts on it, like maybe do a reel of it
and then do a post.
Be like, okay, because I know people.
See, I've considered doing that in the past, where I do a 6 seconds or less, and then I want to do a post. But the reason why I don't do it is that I just don't think people are. Not enough people
care.
See, the thing I'll tell you with the reel is you don't want to overthink. So as much as the 6 seconds or less has been fairly successful for me, and I like making them personally because there's a challenge to it where I force myself to get it. I could just do a full video and put it on YouTube, but there's something fun about like how much information can I jam into 6 seconds without it being a fire hose of information where you can't process it.
Right.
I want to make it so it's digestible, it's interesting. Problem is that if you overthink it and you put too much thought into it, it's not worth your time commitment that you put into it. Because 6 seconds or less take me 3 to 4 hours to make. They're not quick because I have to do the research, then I have to boil it down into a script that's fast enough. And not only that, I have to read the script out, record it, and then go, oh, it's a minute, 30 seconds. Now I got to go in and figure out, okay, I could delete this, delete that, change these. All that stuff factors in, and then I have to go find assets to fill in the gaps and all that. Like, obviously, I don't own a Sheridan, so I had to, go on to, find videos.
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia. But Wikipedia is actually a good source for public domain photos. I will say that. Most of the photos on Wikipedia are public domain. But I would say be careful with like overthinking it. Try to go for, because the other thing too is that Reels and Shorts and TikToks, well, less so TikToks now, but definitely Reels and Shorts favor shorter format.
Yes.
So like the 6 seconds or less has one drawback, and that's on YouTube. I can see this. Instagram doesn't have that, unfortunately, but YouTube you can see how long someone views, the average percentage of view, duration, and it's usually 50% or less. So like 28% of people get to the end of most of my 60 seconds or less.
But the problem too with reels is that I don't like trends.
We don't have to do trends.
I
though.
know, but that
I mean, the
that's
60
the
seconds
thing,
or less
though.
isn't a trend.
That's the thing, though. If you do a trend, you gain more traction.
Oh yeah,
If you don't do a trend,
but that's the thing. That's why I did the 60 seconds or less. It's
because
not
it's
a
your own
trend.
thing.
It's my own thing. I mean, it's a variation on. People have been doing stuff like that forever. It's not my idea. I'm just borrowing from the concept of it. But it's unique in the way I do it and present it, and it's got my flavor of style mixed in there. So
yeah, like I said, I got some ideas, like reels ideas I want to try, but then I'm like not sure how to execute them. Like the one I want to do once I get everything figured out, I think I have potential doing it. Like what I have envisioned right now, I could probably do well with it. I could probably pull off.
We could talk about it afterwards, and I can maybe help you work through it.
That's a
fresh, because that's what I do. My fiance, she's like I call her my unofficial editor. You know, I run
peer reviews and stuff like that.
I run everything through her because I respect her opinion on things. She's got a good eye for stuff. So I always ask her to review stuff to make sure that, like, this sounds right. The wording sounds right. She's much better with English than I am. So, like, I run it by her script-wise. And then I bounce the ideas off her, and I see, if I do it this way, do you think it would look good? And then I'll show her the final product of what I was talking about. Like, I did a different version. And this one I'm doing now, it's on the Bar Day helmet because it's already going to be out by the time this podcast comes out. But it's on the Bar Day, a Canadian experimental helmet that didn't get adopted. But I want to do a 360, and the problem I was running into with doing 360 videos was that the turntable that I have that's, electric, the gears aren't really smooth, so it vibrates a little bit. It causes the 360 video to shake. And when I'm trying to delete the background so it's a nice, clean, matte background, it gets all wonky, can look bad. It still kind of looks in the final product for the Bar Day, but considering it's a reel/short, it's fine. It's gonna be on people's phones most of the time. What?
Oh,
I thought the Windows Update thing came up again, and I was like, really?
I thought I saw something.
But but that's the thing. It when you're looking at doing reels like that, it's good to have a second fresh set of eyes or even a second brain to bounce ideas off of to make it make sense. And again, like I said, you don't want to overthink it because I do it all the time. If I would have not overthought a lot of this, I would have had way more reels out by now, way more 6 seconds or less. There's like 10 in the pipeline right now that I have worked up that I'm slowly building up the catalog for photos and videos and stuff to try to do them. And get them out there. And then I have full videos that I've been working on. I have full, almost half, or even sometimes fully scripted videos that just aren't done. Primarily because I just don't have time to sit down and record because, I do other things. But it's I think you can, unfortunately, Instagram is not for photographs. Photographs and photography.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. They've gone real. They're trying to compete with TikTok and YouTube and stuff. And again, I actually am personally, if I know people hate like the idea of them, I personally love them because again, for me, the challenge of trying to fit that information into something is just there's something fun about that. The challenge alone is something that I like to gravitate to because I could just make a video and just drone on and I do plan on doing it, but I can make a video and just drone on. But there's something fun about trying to, the Sheridan. How can I fit the Sheridan into, and I had to delete so much information that I thought was critical to the Sheridan. But I had to because it was either that or delete something else. Like even just how to ford the river, I had to like reword that and make it make sense because it's like you can't just ford a river in a Sheridan. It's got the kit. You got to pull up the skirts and there's a whole thing to it. But it's just I think it's definitely something that I'm excited to see what you do with the reels. Just don't want you to get too stuck on it. Where, it takes you down on your, it starts to make you feel bad and whatnot. So, I mean, I get it. It makes me feel bad all the time when I'm like, dang, I'm already behind on the current reel that I've been, I just referenced. Like, it should have came out like last week, and I'm like, dang, I suck. I need to get this done. But, but at least I'm keeping up on the podcast.
Yeah. That's an idea, and then I'm aiming to do something for Halloween.
Yeah.
That's another big project I want to do. That and the Vietnam thing, like I mentioned earlier. Those two things are like top of the list right now.
Is the Vietnam thing what I think it is, or Is it completely different to your other,
What do you think it is?
the dog?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yep.
Yeah, you should use that footage that I found. Yeah, I know it's different unit, but the footage of dog handlers.
I could definitely. I'll think of a way to incorporate it.
I mean, it's just footage of if you do a video on it, you can use that as.
Where did you send it? Like,
It's off National Archives. I'll show it to you later.
yeah, do that.
I'll show it to you on like Discord or something.
And Halloween's another big project I want to
Yeah.
do. Hopefully, I got to work myself on that. So
Yeah, I have a couple Halloween posts I just never got around to.
this is like the dawn. Like,
Yeah.
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 I want to tinker with that maybe, but I want to do something else.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's part of a bigger project that just I haven't gotten off the
Yeah.
ground. So that I really wish I could get done. It's funny because, again, I mentioned my fiance and stuff. She has to hear me talk about all this stuff. So she's like, when are you going to do this?
yeah,
When are you going to put these ideas into on the screen and stuff? I'm like, I don't know. Eventually. But I think that's a good spot to end it. We went a little bit longer. It makes up for the whole 2 cuts for me. So anyways, this was this podcast episode. I think it was pretty good. I have no idea what I'm going to title it. So
Bailey's comeback. I don't know.
Bailey's comeback. Yeah. And I'll be back hopefully in 2 weeks. I'm still working on guests. If you have ideas for a guest or something you want to have come on, especially if they are willing to show their face, that's preferred. I'll be willing to entertain any ideas for guests. I've gotten a few people to give me ideas for guests, so it's just about organizing and getting them on and figuring out when, because I work a night shift schedule, so it's weird for me. But yeah, I definitely tune in for another 2 weeks. Hopefully I'll be able to have another episode. So
There you go.
so far, this episode 3 been on task, so hopefully I can stay on task. I want to try to get to at least like 15 or 20 episodes this year.
Oof, that's a good goal.
Yeah, I don't want to do the last year 7 episodes,
Yeah.
the last episode coming out the last day of the year and stuff, and that was so pitiful. So
Yeah.
I could do better than that. So I'm glad to have you back on after
Thank
a
you.
while. Hopefully we'll have you back on maybe by the end of the year. No promises.
No promises.
It depends. If you go permanent,
I can.
we can do over Discord.
We'll see and find out.
Yeah, we can always do it over Discord. But, yeah, that's it. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching or listening, depending on what platform you're listening on. And that's it. So goodbye.